Michel Platini was born on June 21, 1955 in the village of Jœuf, northeastern France. Platini comes from an Italian family that emigrated to France. Platini's grandfather left Piedmont at the end of World War I to go to Lothringen and work as a bricklayer. Michel Platini's father, Aldo Platini, is a former football player and coach. It was Mr. Aldo who was instrumental in awakening his son's football potential. One thing that few people know is that the reason Platini has the ability to move the ball gracefully and flexibly like a samba dancer is because he grew up playing street football. Thanks to his years on the streets, Platini has the serenity of a football artist, unlike his peers who were stiffed in football academies too early. It was not until he was 11 years old, after 6 years of playing football on the street, that Platini joined local football club as Jœuf. During his football career, Platini played for clubs Nancy, Saint-Étienne and Juventus, scoring 224 goals in 432 matches. He was a member of the French team that won the European Championship in 1984, a tournament in which he was also the best player and top scorer. Michel Platini once held the scoring record for the French national team, 41 goals, before being broken by Thierry Henry in 2007. Talking about Platini is talking about one of the brightest natural talents on the field that few people in history can match. Wearing the iconic number 10 shirt, he was one of the three greatest playmakers in the late 70s and early 80s of the 20th century. Along with Diego Maradona and Zico, the man had the nickname Le the King, was considered the best player in Europe at that time. Platini is the former continent's answer to an outstanding attacking midfielder against the unparalleled talent of the aforementioned South American duo. For French football, Platini is the best player and top scorer when he helped the French team win Euro 1984 and finish third at the 1986 World Cup. Michel Platini, Jean Tigana, Alain Giresse, Luis Fernandez then created the Magic Four in the French team's midfield terrify all opponents. At the club level, his time playing for Les Chardons, Nancy's nickname, helped Platini improve a lot. He has honed his direct free-kick skills, a weapon that helps the midfielder born in 1955 with Zico become the most dangerous player in the world in dead ball situations. During 3 years with Saint-Étienne, Platini won only one Ligue 1 title in the 1980-1981 season. However, at the 1982 World Cup after his final season with Saint-Étienne ended, France's most revered sportsman took his performances and reputation to new heights. At that time, everyone had to admit that he was the best player in the world. His highest career is associated with Juventus when he won the Serie A championship in 2 seasons 1983, 1984, 1985, 1986 and won the Champions League in the 1984-1985 season. He became the first player to win the European Golden Ball 3 times in a row. An illustrious career among famous players who have written their names in world football history. The most memorable part of Platini's career is probably not the Euro 1984 championship but the European Cup final in Brussels, Belgium. During the brawl between Juventus and Liverpool fans before the match at Heysel Stadium, which did not meet safety conditions, a wall collapsed, killing 39 fans and injuring 600. The match was not postponed but only played late with the only goal scored from Platini's penalty kick. The creator of the penalty was none other than Boniek, the striker who played with him at Juve at that time. Very happy to win the first C1 Cup in history, but Juventus players were criticized for celebrating on the blood of the fans. Talking about the feeling of playing at the Heysel disaster, Platini said, "In 1985, at the Heysel Stadium in Brussels, they allowed the match to continue and I think it was better to do so. For those watching the match through television, they couldn't understand why we were still in the mood to play. Why? Because we didn't know there was a disaster in the stadium. We were taken to the locker room when we received the match. The match will be postponed. We will only know the truth when we go home the next day and read the newspaper." On April 29, 1987, in the Euro 1988 qualifying match against Iceland, Michel Platini played his last match under Lamb's shirt. A month later, after leading Juventus to the Serie A championship, Michel Platini officially said goodbye to the field. That was the match against Brescia in the pouring rain in Serie A on May 29, 1987. Without Michel Platini, Juventus and France's achievements plummeted. The French team was absent from 2 consecutive football tournaments, the 1990 and 1994 World Cups. And Juventus lacking Platini languished waiting for the Serie A championship for 8 long years even though at that time their squad had a tail. Divine horse Roberto Baggio. When asked why he quit football at the age of 32, Michel Platini confided, "I don't have enough energy anymore. I have spent 15 years playing professional football, of which 1 year I took a break due to injury. I love goals, but with my age, I can't score as often as when I was younger, and now I have to play against players who are much younger than me. Furthermore, my ambition is to retire. The field is at its peak. When making this decision, I have no regrets." After retiring from the field in the late 1980s, Platini continued to exert great influence on football, becoming an official and head of UEFA. However, his career also encountered challenges and controversies, especially with issues related to FIFA and UEFA. In addition to his football career, Platini also has a personal life with family moments and the development of his children. However, the life of a top soccer star also comes with pressure and public attention.